So this is like a bonus video, and normally I wasn't planning to record a video like this, but since I don't know your level, so basically when I'm like giving this course to the college students, for the undergrad students, like the precursor of a mobile application like penetration testing course is like introduction to cybersecurity course. Therefore I am sure that they get, like, they know the basics and so on. But since this is like a video lecture, I don't know your level. And if you are, like, you might be familiar with these concepts, and if you are, you can pass this video, because in this video I will be like giving you the offensive security, the cybersecurity terminology and the basics and introduction to it. Because like I said, I don't know your level and you might be very unfamiliar with the terminology we will be using. And if you are, I really suggest you to follow this video. So basically, like, the cybersecurity is a discipline under the information security, and information security can be summarized in based on, like, the Alice sends an information to Bob, and there's a Charlie or Oscar or Eve that needs to steal this information, and the attacker can actually read this information, modify this information, or like can try to reduce the availability of this information and so on. So this can be like any other attack vector. And what we need to do as a, like, a cybersecurity specialist or information security specialist, we need to make sure that the attacker cannot do that. And, like, so basically this is the main problem, that, like, what we will all be doing in this course can be summarized as this problem. Because, like, let's just say the Bob is the application server of the mobile application and we are the Alice. Sorry, and Alice is like a normal user and we are the Oscar, who is the attacker, and we want to manipulate the information. Or in some cases, like, the mobile application can be Alice, the server side can be Bob, and we are the attacker that need, well, that who wants to manipulate the information, manipulate the input vectors and so on. So this is like our main objective while we are doing a penetration testing. So basically there's a concept of hacking, you might be like familiar with it, and, like, what we are doing is also a hacking, it's a type of hacking, but we are doing a white hacking. That means that we are authorized to, like, hack this stuff, because, like, a firm, like, or the owner of the application allow us to, like, doing some attacks, that, because when, like, he wants to, like, learn the resistance of their apps. So we, like, try the attack vectors to their apps, we try to hack their apps, and then we give the then we give our results to the application's or owner or so on. So this is something we call the penetration testing, or ethical hacking, or the white hat hacking. So basically this is, like I said, this is a type of hacking, but the difference between the, like, the real hacking incidents, the black hat hacking incidents, we are allowed to do this kind of stuff. So, like, you can, like, check this, these are the common hackers that if you are interested in. I mostly, like, give this as a first homework for the introduction to cybersecurity class, but like I said, this is a bonus video for you guys for the mobile application penetration testing. So if you are interested, you can check those persons and read their hacking stories throughout the history. So I'm just passing that. So basically, in our, like, in modern times, like right now, the cybersecurity is like a working area, and basically there are some operating centers, some of them called the security operation centers. And in those security operation centers, like, there are some analysts working, technicians, engineers, and so on. So basically all of them try to, like, find the security incidents, and also like find the security flows to fix that. And like most of the time, the terminology gives us two teams, the red team and the blue team. So red team actually uses like the hacking methods like we are using, and the attacks for like understand the resilience of the system. And blue team is actually the team that tries to fix those findings and also improve the security posture. And there's also like the purple team, as you can see, and purple team like is the person that can work both, like do both of this stuff. So they are like the mixed version of blue team and the red team. And basically, so as a red teamer, you like attack the app, as a blue teamer, you like try to defend the app. And in the blue team, like there are some areas, like I said, this is the introduction to cybersecurity, and if you are unfamiliar with it, I think this lecture might give you some ideas. So there's the incident response, which is like when a cybersecurity incident happens, you like give the response. So this response can be like blocking an IP or like isolating a client or so on. And also like perimeter defense is not so important. So you can also like do some malware analysis. So malware analysis is like a real connected issue with our mobile application penetration testing, because like the mobile malwares are really similar with the mobile applications. And like if you can analyze the mobile applications, you can also try to analyze some mobile malwares and vice versa. So that malware analysis is a blue team subject that analyzes the malware, tries to find the like command and control stuff, the owner of the malware, and so on. So this is like also an area. And the forensics is the like you try to carve some information after the incident. Also, you are like the Sherlock Holmes of the hacking incident, and you try to solve the incident as a forensic specialist. Also, you can do some monitoring. So this is like very related with the security operations center I have told you. So like you monitor the firm or like the what you are protecting, you monitor it with like the analysts, and you have some rule sets, and based on those rule sets you can like alert some alarms and so on. So this is the monitoring. Also like you can do some threat hunting, which is like you try to find the threats, and also you try to find who are these threats and so on. So this is like basically the summary of the blue team and also the red team. So what we'll be doing in this course is like actually the red team stuff. So in the red team, like you can do some penetration testing or like red teaming. So this is like slightly different areas. Also you can do some security researching. Also you can do some exploit development and malware development. So these are all like different subjects on the red team, and based on your like expertise, you can be like the mobile red teamer, mobile or the application security specialist, or the web application security specialist, or the web penetration tester. So based on your abilities, you can be like in one of these roles, and so it will be your specialty. So basically you hack these systems. So this is like everything in a nutshell. So if you can check, the offensive security covers for penetration testing, social engineering, exploit development, application security testing. This is where we are right now. Also the red teaming and system hardening. And defensive security actually includes the firewall implementations, intrusion detection, encryption, the antivirus, anti-malware, also which is called the EDR nowadays, endpoint detection and response, and extended detection and response, which is called the XDR. And it also covers the access control, which is also like the PAM and IAM stuff, like the privilege access management and the identity access management. Also the data loss preventions, which is called DLP in the cybersecurity. And also like the intersection. For the intersection, you might say the threat intelligence, vulnerability management, network segmentation, disaster recovery planning, incident response planning, and security awareness training. So training is also like the one of the area. And also like you can put the technical trainings here, and this is actually what we are doing right now. So we are doing a technical training. So this is the like the sub areas of the security. And if you can see that there are like almost infinite number of areas in the security. And so this is also like these are like the most common ones, and it goes to more niche under the as the like the list goes by. So we can start with the web security, and web security, as you all know, is one of the most common because it is on the internet. And like this is actually most of the hackers started, where most of the hackers started. And if you are like going to do some mobile application security, you might be familiar with the web application security. Web application security. If you are not, I really suggest you to like do the web application security first, then come to mobile application security. And if you are like, if you don't have any course or material or so on, you can contact me with the Takkun, so that if you have like course for you, like there's like a group that is starting web application security, we can like communicate with them to you. Also like we can provide you videos and so on. So basically you will have some web technologies here. So the front end frameworks, backend and database. So for the mobile application security, backend and database will be the same for us, but our front end won't be like this browser based front end. It will be the mobile application we will be facing. So I will just, there are some videos and I'm just passing by. Also like the network security is an area. And like I said, if you are unfamiliar with it, I suggest you to get the network security first, then come for mobile security. So basically like we use the TCP IP model, and it has some like configurations that needs to be done. So it can be the network isolation, also like the Active Directory configuration management, and also like the system security based on the vulnerabilities. And so this is the area of network security, and it is actually a huge area that you need to be specialized with. Also like there's the RF security, which stands for the radio frequency. So it covers all of the like the Wi-Fi security, the like remote controller security, also like the every kind of embedded RF security. So this is also an area for you to work. And also if you like, if you are working with the mobile, like the physical phone security, this is also an area that you need to be mastered with, because the phone is also like broadcasting some RF signals and you need to manipulate them and so on. And I'm just like I said, I'm just passing these videos. And this is the mobile security actually. So like I will make this a little much more longer because this is where we are. So mobile security is actually these powers for the mobile applications, also the mobile operating system, and also the mobile malwares. So it is a very broad areas. And so like basically what we are trying to do, we try to find vulnerabilities, and which is what we are doing in this course. But basically so if you can like try to learn some kernel and operating system for complete your mobile security posture, because I won't be like going under the kernel layer in this course because it covers for applications. But if you are interested in it, I really suggest you to like reach me out. So basically there's a vulnerability, example vulnerability, and we can like, let's just watch it. So if you might remember, in 2019 there was like a vulnerability in the WhatsApp. So like basically a person sends you a GIF, I think, and after the GIF, its phone got crashes, and this is basically a vulnerability. And based on the vulnerability, actually the attacker can access your phone. So it was fixed in the 2019, sorry, but it shows how, so it shows the importance of the mobile security and its impact. So basically like by just sending a file through the WhatsApp, this attacker accessed this victim's phone, as you can see. As you can see, it can like read everything, and it can see the entire messages and so on. And if it has the kernel exploit, also like it can goes into the root state to like read every other application and everything about the phone. So this is like basically a very crucial thing. And based on like the security, also divided for based on the vendors. So this is the Android security, and what we will be covering is mostly the Android security, because iOS is a closed system that we cannot know for sure, because like some of them are like closed sources, but Android is an open source software, so that we can always see the code and so on. And also like the binary exploitation is an area. So basically this binary exploitation is really related with the Android kernel exploiting. And if you are working with the Android kernel and you try to like go into the root, or like you try to crack the Android device, you learn the binary exploitation techniques. And let's just pass those. So IoT security is also an area, and like you might know, remember, like the mobile applications also used in the IoT networks, and if it's used, your knowledge for mobile application is also like in this subject. So as you can see, all subjects are like connected with each other. And also like the hardware security, so you can like try to hack your phone with hardware, in the hardware. So like there are some techniques for the hardware hacking, and if you're interested, go check them out. So I'm just gonna pass those. And car security, so basically like nowadays also the cars also like can be operated with the mobile phone, and so the applications that controls the car is also like in the scope. And the blockchain also, I believe that there's also like the blockchain implementations for some mobile applications, but it is not very common, so I'm just gonna pass that. So basically like this is the everything we have like covered so far, and like this is like a very broad course normally, and I'm just like giving you the like basics, like the points for you to understand what we are doing in the mobile application security based on the whole introduction to cybersecurity. And like let's just go for the stuff that how you can keep yourself updated. So you can see the conferences here, and so cybersecurity is an area that needs to like update yourself, you know, like if you are into cybersecurity, you need to keep yourself updated, and you can like you need to check for conferences, and the like conferences are mostly split into two. Some of them are academic, and some of them are like mostly hands-on, but both of them are like very important, I think. And for you to like learn a lot of stuff, I will suggest you to check both of them. And you can check like the security and privacy conferences with Google. So this is an example site. And also like there are some big conferences. One of them is the DEF CON. So like if you, so it is very good for you to attend the DEF CON if you are into stuff. And if you not, you can like check the YouTube videos. And if you were in the like physical classes, I would have give you like homework for the mobile application security, latest mobile application security trends in the DEF CON. So like what people have told about the mobile application security this year and the last year. So this would have been your homework for your mobile application security course. And since I cannot like grade your homework, but I am suggesting to do that just by maybe some watching the latest videos and so on. And also like there's the Black Hat conference. Also you can do the same homework for the Black Hat conference. And for like keeping like making your practice in the cybersecurity, I will suggest you to join some capture the flag challenges. So basically the capture the flag challenges is like they give you like some of the systems that you can hack them, and you try to hack those systems. And those systems might be like a mobile APK file, it can be a web application, it can be a binary file, it can be like a network log that needs to be analyzed and extract some information and so on. So this I think gives you like really understanding about the techniques. So this is the CTF time site and it shows the CTF. So this is an old screenshot, but I really suggest you to check the CTF time and maybe like you can create a team, maybe you can find a team and take your shot, cause I think it will like teach you a lot of stuff when you go into a CTF challenge. Also, like there are some big CTFs in the world, so I like show this to undergrad students to get their attention in the course. So this is basically like a CTF challenge. It's just like the esport League of Legends or maybe Counter-Strike challenge. So basically like it is also the League of Legends of the hackers, basically the big CTFs. So you can just so you can try to participate it or like watch it and so on. So yeah, like you can see the monitors and the people here. And basically, like I said, the CTFs split into like the two styles, so Jeopardy and the attack defense, and the mixed style, the third one respectively. So the Jeopardy style is the style I told you about. So basically like you give task and based on when you find the flag and put it into the dashboard of the platform, you give you get some points. So this like these categories can be the web or the cryptology, the forensics, the reverse engineering, or the digital forensics and incident response, malware, Android, and so on. So like I really suggest you to join them. And it can be like also an attack defense CTF challenge. So like there are two teams in the attack defense, and the red team and the blue team. So like blue team tries to like fortify their defenses, and red team tries to attack those systems. And like you can do this simulation for a mobile application also. So like when we are doing this course in at the classroom, for the last section, the last course, the last day of the course, we like pick an app and we split the classroom into two teams for the red team and the blue team, and we choose a vulnerable app actually, and the blue team tries to fix those vulnerabilities. So actually we give red team a 1 day head start because they try to find vulnerabilities, and then we start the fighting. So the red team tries to exploit the vulnerabilities and blue team tries to like logs the vulnerabilities, find what the vulnerabilities are, fix them, and also like keep the up running. So this is I think a fun challenge, and like I said, if we were in a classroom we would have do that, but since this is a video recording we won't be doing that. So this is actually where I stop the lesson and do some hacking stories with the classroom. So basically I have like give you my brief introduction to cybersecurity course, and I hope it gets you like understand some of the terminology, cause like I think in the lesson 10 or 11 we are doing a CTF challenges and capture the flag challenges, and if you are unaware of what the CTFs are, it will be like weird for you, like what are we doing, why are we trying to find flag, and so on. So this is why you need like the basic terminology for the cybersecurity, and this is the bonus lecture I have provided for you.